On August 26, 1990, the Alpine Valley Music Theater in Wisconsin buzzed with the electric energy of blues royalty. Stevie Ray Vaughan, the guitar legend whose fiery riffs and soulful melodies had revived blues for a new generation, took the stage with Eric Clapton, Buddy Guy, Robert Cray, and his brother, Jimmy. It was a night of pure magic, with Stevie pouring his heart into every note, unaware that hours later, a foggy helicopter ride would end his life in a tragedy that still haunts the music world. The terrifying last minutes of Stevie Ray Vaughan are a gut-wrenching tale of fate, talent, and loss. Born on October 3, 1954 in Dallas, Texas, Stephen Ray Vaughan grew up in the shadow of his older brother, Jimmy, a guitarist who inspired him to pick up the instrument at age 7. Their father, Big Jim, an asbestos worker with a volatile temper and alcohol struggles, moved the family across states before settling in Dallas's Oak Cliff. Stevie, shy and sensitive, found solace in music, dropping out of high school in 1972 to pursue it in Austin. There, he formed Double Trouble with bassist Tommy Shannon and drummer Chris Layton, blending blues with rock in a raw, electrifying style. By 1983, their debut album, Texas Flood, earned Grammy nominations, and Stevie's blistering guitar work, channeling Jimi Hendrix and Albert King, made him a global icon. His career, though only 7 years in the mainstream, was monumental. Collaborations with David Bowie on Let's Dance and performances at Montreux Jazz Festival catapulted him to fame. Albums like Couldn't Stand the Weather and In Step showcased his evolution, especially after overcoming severe cocaine and alcohol addiction. In 1986, a near-death experience in Germany, vomiting blood after a show, pushed him to rehab. By 1990, sober and revitalized, Stevie was at his peak, his In Step album winning a Grammy for Best Contemporary Blues Album. His final project, Family Style with Jimmy, was set for release, a testament to their bond. The Alpine Valley shows were a pinnacle. On August 25th and 26th, Stevie and Double Trouble opened for Clapton, joined by blues giants for a star-studded encore of Sweet Home Chicago. Fans described Stevie's performance as transcendent, his guitar singing with raw emotion. Photographer Robert Knight, shooting for Fender, recalled Bruce bumps during Stevie's encore of Hendrix's Voodoo Child, Slight Return, an eerie moment when both their arms froze inexplicably. Backstage, Stevie was serene, discussing future plans with Clapton for a Jimi Hendrix tribute at London's Royal Albert Hall in 1991. He told drummer Chris Layton, "I love ya," words that would linger as his last to his bandmate. But a sense of foreboding hung over Stevie. The day before, he shared a chilling nightmare with his band, describing his own funeral with thousands mourning, feeling terrified yet almost peaceful. As the show ended, dense fog enveloped the venue. 4 helicopters waited on a golf course to ferry the performers to Chicago. Stevie, eager to see his fiancée, Yana Lapidus, asked his brother Jimmy and Jimmy's wife Connie for the last seat on the 3rd helicopter, a Bell 206B Jet Ranger, piloted by Jeff Brown. Jimmy agreed, taking a later flight. Stevie boarded with Clapton's agent Bobby Brooks, bodyguard Nigel Brown, and assistant tour manager Colin Smythe. Around 1 a.m. on August 27th, the helicopters lifted off in 2-minute intervals through thick fog. Sheriff David Graves noted visibility was so poor he could barely see the choppers on the ground. Brown, a veteran pilot, flew the 3rd helicopter at high speed and a lower altitude than the others, possibly to avoid the worsening weather. But the decision proved fatal. Just 0.6 miles from takeoff, the helicopter banked sharply left and slammed into a 300-foot ski hill. All 5 aboard died instantly from blunt trauma, Stevie from exsanguination due to chest and abdominal injuries. The Civil Air Patrol was alerted at 4:30 a.m., but the wreckage wasn't located until hours later. Jimmy Vaughan and Clapton, who'd been on another helicopter, were asked to identify the bodies. Jimmy retrieved Stevie's hat and cross necklace, symbols of his brother's spirit. Investigations pointed to pilot error under instrument meteorological conditions. Brown, operating under visual flight rules, likely became disoriented in the fog. Omniflight, the helicopter company, faced a negligence lawsuit from Jimmy and Martha Vaughan, settled out of court. The tragedy exposed risks in night flights over challenging terrain, sparking calls for stricter aviation protocols. The music world reeled. Stevie's funeral on August 31st at Laurel Land Memorial Park in Dallas drew over 1,500, including Clapton, Stevie Wonder, and Bonnie Raitt. Family Style was released posthumously, becoming Stevie's best-selling non-double trouble album. Tributes poured in. Clapton dedicated SRV on the Rush soundtrack, and artists like John Mayer and Joe Bonamassa cited Stevie's influence. His tone, a blend of raw power and emotional depth, remains a benchmark for guitarists. Austin erected a statue at Auditorium Shores, and St. Louis hosts an annual tribute concert. The Stevie Ray Vaughan Memorial Scholarship Fund supports young musicians, keeping his legacy alive. Stevie's life was a testament to redemption. His sobriety transformed his music, infusing it with clarity and heart. Tracks like Tightrope and Wall of Denial from In Step reflected his struggles and triumphs. Fans still marvel at his final show's footage, a sacred relic of a man at his peak. His influence bridges old blues masters and modern rock, his Stratocaster a voice that spoke to souls. Those final minutes are harrowing to imagine. Trapped in a helicopter hurtling through fog, Stevie likely sensed the impending doom as the craft veered off course. The roar of the engine, the disorienting darkness, the sudden impact, seconds that ended a blazing career. At 35, Stevie was poised for even greater heights, his sobriety fueling a creative fire. The tragedy wasn't just the loss of a guitarist, but of a survivor who'd fought addiction and emerged stronger, only to be stolen by fate. Shad Gaspard's heroic sacrifice in 2020 echoes Stevie's story. Both men faced sudden, uncontrollable forces, yet their legacies endure through courage and love. Stevie's music, from Pride and Joy to Little Wing, still resonates, a reminder that his spirit lives on. The foggy Wisconsin night may have silenced his guitar, but every blues riff played today carries his echo, a bittersweet tribute to a legend gone too soon.